episode number 224. 224. I'm Jeff James. With me as always, the incredible, unobtainable, luscious Brody Falls. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good too, dude. It's good to have you back on the show.
Yeah.
We had Evan last
I know.
week, and
Yeah, I was out on quarantine, got the COVID. I'm back.
Oh, okay, we're just going out with it. All right.
Yeah. And I played a shitload of video games because I had nothing better to do.
Yeah.
So what we played this week might be a little long, a little lengthy, but I'm good. I'm healthy. The family's healthy. We're all back in action, and here we are.
Huzzah.
Huzzah.
Excelsior. Guys, if this is your first time listening to the show, don't worry. Every week we don't have COVID. On top of that, every single week we discuss gaming news from around the interwebs and bring it to your sweet, sweet ears on every single major podcast platform. And we bring it to you live on YouTube and Twitch every single Thursday evening at around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Every week, pretty much every week. There's a couple of weeks to take off. Thanksgiving and stuff like that. We got turkey to eat.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that shit. So, beyond that, guys, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Diggity Podcasts and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Look for Diggity Gaming or Diggity on YouTube, and you shall find us, my dudes. With that, before jumping into news, what are we playing? Go through your shit first because this is going to be long.
I was going to say you should probably go first because it's going to take me a minute.
Played Overwatch. Been super busy week for me for work. It's been tough. Played Overwatch. Played Hearthstone on the old iPod. iPad. I can't say iPod because that's iPod. And then I sound really weird. Like I'm just playing it on iPod.
On your iPod Classic.
On my iPod
played
Touch,
a little brick breaker.
Yeah, my iPod Touch. Gosh, what else? City Skylines. Dabbled a bit into it. Turned my Switch on for 2 seconds, but then someone knocked on my door and delivered a package, and then I had to put my Switch down, and then I never picked it up again, and I wanted to play golf. I think that's about it, man. I really haven't been able to dive time into. I've been keeping up on news and watching all the video game news-based stuff, but which we'll talk about later. But just haven't been able to really jump into a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, as far as news goes, this was a pretty quiet week. But as far as games I played, not so quiet because I had 2 weeks to play and nowhere to go. So I put a bunch of time into Mario Golf Super Rush. I was trying to finish up the campaign there. Near the end, it gets pretty tough. Like some of that gets really tough. So I ended up taking a break from it. I played that a pretty hefty amount. I have also put a bunch of time into Super Mario 3D World. So that was obviously the Wii U port that came out earlier this year, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yes. And I never played it on Wii U, so I got to the end, unlocked the first secret world. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, these are getting a little tougher. And then I made it to the second secret world. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Some of this is crazy, but it's really, really good. I'm trying to get all the stamps and get all the stars and do all of the things, and it's a good time. I got sucked back into Final Fantasy 14, put a decent chunk of time into that as well, and I'm getting near the end of that first expansion finally, which I'm like 7 days of playtime into that game, which is nothing in the grand scheme of an MMO, but quite a bit of time still, regardless. Played a little bit of Overwatch. We played with our buddies over at WASD and some of their friends as well, and got our asses kicked repeatedly.
Oh my God, bro. Oh my
and I think it's all Evan's fault, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know, man. I think it's because he was on PC.
Yeah, once we get matched up with PC players, it makes it tough to keep up on
so
console.
Hard to be as quick as them, it's impossible.
Yeah. Played a little bit of Warzone with our buddy lawyer Craig. Just a little bit, not a lot.
How is Craig?
He's alive.
That's good. That's a good thing nowadays, right?
He got he just got back from his honeymoon not too long ago.
Yeah, he went to Hawaii, right?
Yeah,
That's
he
some
went
white
to
people shit.
good old Hawaii. Did some white people shit for sure.
With some
Played some.
dolphins.
I can absolutely see him just like going up and like kissing the
shit.
dolphin and everything, right?
Yeah.
I just dipped my toes into Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Dipped my toe back into Monster Hunter Stories 2. I don't know. That game is just not grabbing me like I thought it would.
Really?
I can get into it. I don't know what it is.
You
It's
want
just
to like just do more in it and it won't let you?
I think
it's, like,
I'm
limited?
over the whole like turn-based battle system
Okay.
right now. I think I'm burnt out on it a little bit, and so it's just it feels kind of slow, and it's kind of that thing of like some JRPGs where you're like running around and you get kind of random encounters. These aren't entirely random. Like you can see the monster, but they'll actually chase you and corner you and stuff. I played It Takes Two with my wife. So we finally got into that. That is a fantastic game so far of what I've played. She is not.
I gotta get it eventually.
I should have hit you up and we could have just went half on it, but whatever. It Takes Two. But it's really good. And she's not. I mean, she doesn't really play many games, so some of the like camera controls are kind of weird for her. She's still trying to get used to that, but she's getting there, and I think it's a good way to learn these types of games because it's not overly hard, but it has some platforming and it has some things like that. And I think it's a really good learning game. We also got into Unraveled 2, which that's like that's actually a really cool game. Like I really enjoyed the first one. Yeah, and the second one is fantastic. You can play with somebody, and it also has some really good, like, if she's struggling with platforming stuff, I can do the platforming, and I can basically pull her to me. So it allows her to, like, skip certain parts if she's having a lot of trouble with it and whatnot, but it's really good. I played quite a bit of 2 Point Hospital, because
I saw that.
when in COVID times, you play 2 Point Hospital and make all of your doctors look like Sanic.
Sanic. Oh my god, that's right. Yeah. Oh my god.
And it was just the easiest way to.
In there too.
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
I made all of my doctors Sonic. I made all of the nurses Amy. I made all of the assistants Tails, and then I made the janitors. No, I made the assistants Knuckles, and I made the janitors Tails, just so I could tell everybody apart. And it actually worked pretty well. And the last game I really played a lot of.
Into that hospital.
Just,
like broken arms. Like no, I'll walk to the other one. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. And the last game I played a lot of was Hades.
Yeah,
that game is fantastic. So the first time I played it, kind of bounced off of it. I'm like, oh, it's just kind of a roguelike, whatever. And finally I jumped back into it, and my god, that game is awesome, and it's addicting. It's one of those like just one more run type of things. And I sat there and played it for like 5 hours straight one day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
I actually made it to Hades on one of my runs. At the, well, I don't want to like spoil it if you haven't played it. I don't know. It's been out a while. It just came to Game Pass and some of the other console stuff. So I won't say too much, but found out that I was like, oh, I'm doing pretty good, and ended up getting my ass beat and sent back to the beginning again. I'm like, no. But I'm trying to go through and get all the collectible stuff and kind of venture through all that, and really like I understand what people were saying about this game now. Like I thoroughly enjoy this game. It is so fucking good. So that I think sums up everything I played. I just played a lot of all of those things though.
Yeah, you had some time, dude. It's good.
I did have some time. I did have some
Reminds me
time.
of, like holiday time or like Christmas and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Thanksgiving, where we can all like kind of just chill for a couple days and play some video games.
Right.
I guess you hit the nail on the head when you're like, hey, this week there wasn't a lot of news, but then Nintendo gave us a little golden egg of craziness all over the place and some interesting news, right?
Yeah, and this is really the only thing we have in the show today. So I figured we'll just talk about everything as we go through.
Yeah, I'm
instead
down.
of
there's
like
a lot of shit
flowing
to talk
through it.
About. So
there's a lot of shit to talk about. So
yeah.
I figured normally we'll like burn through it all and then kind of circle back, but I figured this time we'll just take a little bit of time on this one and enjoy it. Let it soak in.
All right, cool. So first off, in the Nintendo Direct, we got shown Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. So this is the first large paid expansion being described as, quote, massive during the Direct. You'll have typical new monsters, stories, locations, quests, and all the stuff you could expect from a expansion. And this is going to be coming summer 2022. So... I mean, you're
stoked.
the Monster Hunter dude on this podcast, so
Yeah, I was gonna get into this while I was quarantined, but I did not get into it all that much. I actually never even turned it on. I was like, I figured I'd get through some things that I kind of been pushing off.
yeah.
But I'm still not super high rank in this. I think I'm only like 6-star, maybe 7-star, which I mean that's still like 60, 70 hours into this game. I do want to continue it, and I am looking forward to this. Luckily, summer 2022 gives me some time to kind of grind through it and hopefully get up to where I need to be. Which a lot of time with these expansions, you can jump into them, and there's like some, skip to whatever rank you need to be type of thing. But I'm stoked for this. I mean, we didn't really see a whole lot on it. Granted, we're, just under a year away from it, so. I'm excited to see what it is. The monster they showed off. Unfortunately, I don't know what this monster was. I'm sure there's a lot of Monster Hunter fans that are pitchforks and torches out right now. Like, hey, that's this thing. I have no fucking idea. But it looked cool. It looks like it's going to be kind of a darker tone for this expansion, and I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Dope. Something I am super stoked about is the next thing that they showed off, which was Mario Party Superstars. So they showed that this version will also include boards from Mario Party 64, which is phenomenal and fantastic. Something I would love to see is their rendition of how many are from the GameCube. I got to do more research onto it, but I just enjoy how they're kind of culminating everything that makes Mario Party good and just kind of like soaking it into one game. Instead of like reinventing the wheel constantly.
Absolutely.
I think they've had some huge misses with Mario Party over the years. They've had some wins. But they've also had a lot of like games that have like versions that have come out where you feel like it's like half baked, and you're like,
like the one where you ride around in a car.
Yeah, and you're like, how is this?
I have seen a few people that actually say that's their favorite Mario Party, and
Serious?
those people are serial killers.
Crazy people.
Crazy, absolutely insane.
Yeah. But
I'm waiting for Ed to chime in here and be like, "That's my favorite one."
Right.
Like, damn it, Ed.
All boards will support online play, which is awesome, and this is launching October 29th, so not too far away. Be here before we know it, and I'm stoked for this. I'm excited. It'll be really good.
Yeah, I'm stoked for this, and the fact that it will release with online play, which was a huge misstep for the Mario Party that they released on Switch already. That has to be there. I mean, especially in the times we're living in currently, there's still like in and out of different lockdowns and things like that. Right. And so online play is pretty much a godsend. And then, I mean, as an adult, how often do you really get together and sit down and play like, a shitload of Mario Party together? So it makes sense to have online stuff, especially for, people that grew up playing Mario Party, especially like Mario Party 64 and things like that. I mean, this is just online plays a must.
Absolutely.
Ed did say he likes the GameCube Mario Party 4. I knew it.
Perfect. Then moving on, we got the Voice of Cards, the Isle Dragon Roars game was shown off. This is really cool. It's a tabletop card-based RPG, so the whole game is all cards, and you kind of move like your pawn around and stuff like that. Really neat. The creative director is Yoko Taro on this. It's coming October 29th, and a free demo is available now on the Nintendo eShop. So go check it out. Go try it out. It looks really cool.
Hearing that Yoko Taro was the creative director on this made me 10 times more excited for it. And I was already pretty pumped for it. Like, he does some really, really cool stuff.
Yeah. All the artwork.
Very, very interesting individual, but my God, he makes some really cool and artistic stuff. And I think this is going to be really cool.
The artwork alone in the game is just beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It's got that
fantastic.
It has that Square Enix, like, not quite watercolor look to it, but a little bit watercolor-esque. And oh my god, I'm really stoked to see this. I want to try the demo. I didn't have time to download it yet, but I will get it downloaded and definitely check this out.
Yeah, for sure. Then a quick thing that we were showing off was Disco Elysium, the final cut. So coming to the Nintendo Switch digitally October 12th, so not that far away at all. And a physical version will be released early 2022. So there've been a bunch of rumors on terms of the dates of when this was going to happen, but a lot of people thought this was going to keep getting delayed and
it's cool that it's coming to Switch. I think it lends itself better as a PC game just because it is like a point and click type of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it'll work fine on Switch. And if that's your main console and your only way to play it, I really recommend picking it up. I mean, it's a really interesting story and a really interesting like concept for how they go about this game. Yeah. Really, really enjoyed my time with it.
Then we got to look at Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, Guardian of Remembrance. So this is a little confusing because this is being included in the expansion pass as wave number 2. It'll include new stories that take place in new stages. There'll be new playable characters, Pura and Robbie, as well as one unannounced character that's yet to be named. And it's releasing October 29th as well. Wave 1 is available today. Is that correct?
I think it's already been available.
It's been.
I believe.
I'm so confused. I've not been following Hyrule Warriors at all.
I haven't either. It's not that it's a bad game. It's just kind of one of those games where it sends you on like a power trip.
Arcadey. It's just throw in a bunch of Legend of Zelda IP.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're cool for what they are, but after a while, I kind of get bored of them. I believe I borrowed this from my library and played through the story. And it was cool, but yeah, and I thought it was weird that they didn't announce what the other character was. They like in that infographic at the end, they're like, and another character, and you're like, Nintendo, it's coming out October 29th, man. Like what?
Nintendo.
Yeah, it
is what it is. Yeah. Then, boy, this was out of left field. Chocobo GP. It's a Final Fantasy kart racing game. This is going to feature online and local multiplayer in a 64-player tournament mode. It's exclusive to the Nintendo Switch and will be releasing sometime in 2022. Looks exactly like a Mario Kart, which, I mean, there's not many games that could come out that are fantasy kart racing games that wouldn't look like a Mario Kart. But boy, does this ever look like a Mario Kart.
Some of the tracks they showed off looked exactly like Mario Kart. This could have been DLC for Mario Kart, and I would have been like, yeah, that makes sense.
It'd be interesting to see how this performs in the market.
Yeah.
I think it'll do like pretty good with Final Fantasy fans for sure. But like, yes, I think there could have just been like a couple of tracks that came out and some characters, and you probably could have breathed some more life into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah, I think there was some cool things they did here with like being able to stack up items and like turn them into the more powerful version of each spell.
I did really like that mechanic. That's really cool. Where you get like the pyra, or let's call it a jug of fire. Okay, basically you pick up the fire power up. If you get 3 in a row, it does a heavier fireball. But then you can also mix elements to get other things. That's something Mario Kart should bring. I think that'd be phenomenal.
I like the idea of the 64-player tournament mode, but like you said, I don't know exactly how well this is going to do in like once it actually releases. Because I mean, there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans, and there's a lot of kart racing fans, but I don't know where that crossover actually is. Or
Mario Kart.
And also, there's so many kart racers and things like that I don't know. And a lot of them just don't control very well. Like the control, especially when you have
none of them have the staying power of a Mario Kart because Mario Kart is so balanced.
Absolutely not.
Look, Crash Team Racing.
Right. Like I bought that game. I played it a couple times and never went back to it because Mario Kart just does it better. Yep. But I think this is kind of neat. I think they have some good ideas. I I'm not entirely sure about the like engine customization. I feel like that, like if that's something you have to unlock, it could kind of create an unlevel playing field type of thing
Yeah.
and be a little bit of a
but I mean,
problem.
there's
But
some of that shit in Mario Kart because I mean,
that's
like,
true. Yeah, all your
you've got
items
the
and stuff.
tires, you've got
Mhm.
the body with your speed and your handling, and your takeoff. So it's
Yeah,
kind of a
this
similar
is.
thing.
It looks interesting. I probably won't be picking it up, even as like a somewhat casual Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah,
I I don't know. It's just so hard to compete with Mario Kart, man. Like, I mean, just Mario Kart's just it's the fucking perfect kart racer.
it is.
And
It is fantastic. So it'll be interesting to see. A rumor mill that was going around was that we're going to see the last Smash Brothers character before this, like 3 days, like the moment they announced this, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna be the last Smash character," and everyone thought it was gonna be Crash Bandicoot or Jonesy from Fortnite.
I saw Sora from Kingdom Hearts,
yeah,
Master Chief, of course.
yeah, Master Chief, and Nintendo's like, "Nah, we're gonna tell you on October 5th." So October 5th at 10 a.m. Eastern time, there's going to be a separate presentation where they're going to announce the final character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is, I mean, it's crazy. It's going to be the final one, and how old is this game now? 3 years?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Crazy,
which
man.
comes into question, are they going to announce the last character, and then they're going to tease something like, hey, we're working on a new Smash Brothers?
I don't think they will. I think
Okay.
I think it'll be a little bit before we see another Smash Bros. If we even, I doubt we'll even see one on the Switch.
Yeah, it'll be
by
whatever
the
the
time
next
we get like Switch
iteration is,
2,
the next
yeah,
console.
and even then, I mean, this is such a like a complete, I mean, the ultimate version of Smash, right? Like
Yeah.
this has everything, and it's just crazy to see. It feels so weird that this is like the last character because it just became such a regular thing of Nintendo Directs to like
this
see a
could
new
be
character.
Nintendo, though, going like, you thought it was
Hey.
the last character, but it's no longer the last character.
Right.
Ha, ha, ha.
That's kind of Nintendo's MO
know?
where they do some shit like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and for them to just kind of be like, "Hey, we're announcing that we're going to be announcing a character," but it's also going to be like that full presentation where he spends like 40 minutes walking you through like the move set and everything else, and it's cool. Part of me kind of hopes it's Waluigi just for shits and giggles because that's kind of like how Ridley got into the game. It was like a kind of a meme for a while type of deal, and like Waluigi has been the running meme for Smash Brothers for so long, and it would just be great for the last character for this game to be Waluigi. Although I would like to see some of the other options that
So
they
who do you think it's going to be?
I could absolutely see it being Waluigi. Like I think that is it.
What I thought as well.
Either
what would be your
that.
runner-up?
Mine
was Master Chief.
I think Master Chief would be a very interesting addition. I mean, you have Cloud, you have Sephiroth, you have like
You've had Sonic, you've had Pac-Man, you've had.
yeah, why not? I mean, it's sure. There's no Xbox representation on there currently. I mean, it's basically either Master Chief or Marcus Phoenix, right? Like those are your two options. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be Marcus Phoenix. So if it's going to be anybody from the Xbox ecosystem, it's going to be Chief, right? But I'd be cool with that. I think that'd be really cool to see. But I kind of feel like the ultimate troll would be like, hey, we're not doing Waluigi. He's a trophy or an assist trophy character, so he's not going to be in the game. And then just be like, hey, Waluigi's in the fucking game.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see October 5th. Moving on, man, I'm so pumped about this. They showed off Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So this is a post-apocalyptic Kirby game that appears to be somewhat open world-esque. And this is going to be coming spring 2022. Dude, I'm so stoked for this. We need a Kirby game. We need a good Kirby game. And this looks like it's really combining some great elements of, honestly, Mario Odyssey with like a Yoshi's Woolly World. And it just looks great.
I was kind of I'm not entirely sure how open this game's actually going to be.
No, I think it's going to be a lot of platform. I think it'll be as open as like a Paper Mario, like the last Paper Mario.
Well, I wondered if it was going to be more like more like Odyssey, where it's kind of like a hub world type of thing, and it looks like it's an open world because they didn't say it was
got a defined track that you're
right.
on, yeah.
Like it's still somewhat linear, because the way they said something about it being open, but also everything looked like it was still a contained like level. So I don't know. I think when they referred to open, it was more of the ability to like traverse around different areas in these like kind of more open worlds like Odyssey. And I think that would be a smart way to do it. I don't want a full-blown open world Kirby game. I would rather have that Odyssey level, like large levels where you can find like all these crazy collectibles or whatever. And it looked like it's going to have that and that kind of problem solving and those like different mysteries and things where you can like, find it. Obviously, it's not going to be moons, but like moons in Odyssey type of thing. And I think this looks really, really cool. And I was not super sold on the last Kirby game. I'm not even a huge Kirby fan, but this looks really, really cool.
Yeah. Well, this is good also just to get like a Kirby game that's not like
that like side-scrolling platformer.
Not even just that. That's not like like some sort of theme tied to it. Like Yoshi's Woolly World, for example. Like while it's a Yoshi game, like the entire premise of it is the world is enveloped in yarn, right? And it's like I just want a normal Yoshi game,
right?
You had that same with you had that same deal with Kirby, and it's like now it's just we're just getting a Kirby game. We're just getting a Kirby game. Which is what I want. I don't want Kirby and yarn. I don't want that shit. I just want a Kirby game. So I'm stoked. I'm probably going to pick this up in the spring. I'm a huge Kirby fan. And yeah, it's just great to see it come back to their roots of just here's a game about Kirby. Have fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, if there's anything Nintendo's nailed, it's that slight chibi style for their main IPs, for their platformers. And,
which makes it perfect for the Switch because it's not graphically intensive, but it looks great and it continues to look great for a long time.
Absolutely. Then moving on from that, we got an Animal Crossing update. So there's new free content coming in November. There's more information to come in an Animal Crossing New Horizons Direct coming later in October as well. So look out for that. My guess on that is it's probably new clothes.
Yeah,
more seasonal things probably coming up because November and going into winter, and maybe some like fishing derby tournaments or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know that many people that are still hopping into Animal Crossing all that consistently or anything like that. I mean, I haven't touched it in God knows how long. Not to say it was a bad game. I enjoyed my time with it, but it's not
a COVID game. It was a pandemic.
Yeah, it was certainly a pandemic game for sure. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. I'm glad to see this game still getting support and basically Nintendo showing that they can support games after they release because that's been an issue with them where they just don't actually give some of these games the support that they deserve. And I think this is a good example of a game that they've continually put content out and done a great job with.
Yeah. Speaking of games that they continue to support, even though people bombast them on Twitter for not doing so, Mario Golf Super Rush is getting new characters. So we're going to get Koopa Troopa and Ninja, which is awesome.
Do you know who Ninja is?
Huh?
Who is Ninja? Like, I saw him in the Direct.
Ninja is from Yoshi.
Is he from Yoshi? Okay. I had no clue.
Or from Mario. I think it's a Mario Odyssey. They're creatures that first appeared as enemies in Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic.
Okay. They're also
they appear in Super
Mario Bros. 2. Yep. Gotcha. I was not entirely sure. They didn't look familiar to me, but probably just the art style was so much differently.
Its appearances are Super Mario Bros. 2, Mario and Luigi, Paper Jam, Super Mario Maker 2, Super Mario Run, and the Paper Mario series.
Gotcha. I recognize them now that I see them actually in Mario, Super Mario 2. That makes sense. Okay.
Ninja
makes sense now.
Paper Mario Sticker Star as enemies. That is their latest. Ninja appears in Paper Mario: The Origami King, origami form, and they appear
Yeah, I
mostly
see 'em
in
there.
Ninja Attraction in Shogun Studio before fighting.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Ah,
Well, there we go.
that's
We're
cool.
bringing you information on that. So Ninja is coming, and then there's new courses. So there'll be a snow course and a desert course. That's pretty neat. Two little parallels there, and this is available now, which is like, one of those classic Nintendo things. Hey, it's available right now. So if you've had Mario Golf Super Rush and you've been kind of sitting back on it, and you played New Donk City and all that update, now you got another one to get in there and check out and try out. So that's great. I love to see the support for this. I mean, this is fantastic.
I have not played New Donk City. Even when I was playing it over the last week or two, I didn't get into that because I was trying to get through that campaign. But I was surprised to see another desert course. I feel like we already got a pretty decent amount of that.
Courses either.
And they're just not
giant
all
sand
that
trap.
fun. The snow course looked fantastic though.
Yeah, because it's.
I would have almost. Yeah, I would have liked to almost see a map that kind of like plays on some of the older Mario, where it's kind of like pixelated or something cool like that. I think that'd be neat to see.
Neat. Yeah, or like your ball lands on a block. The block you can land like 3 times on that block before it like.
Or it would
disappears.
break.
Yeah. No, that'd be great. Something that was confusing to me, but and I also don't play it, and I have no idea what I get it was on the 3DS, but Disney Magical World 2 Enchanted Edition is going to be coming. So this is a port of a 3DS game that seems to make use of your Mii character from back in the day, or has completely ripped off a Mii character, either or, don't know. This will include all DLC from the original game. This releases this holiday. It's Disney. Disney's fucking up big time. Disney as a company as a whole is just it's going down the trash. It's so fucking bad right now, bro.
I also like their video games have been bad for a long time too. I mean, they've had a couple
it's not even the release
but
of this. It's just like if you like, I follow what they do.
You're a big Disney guy, especially for like the theme park,
full
right?
Disclosure. And it's like, I watched them from a business aspect. Cause I'm like, okay, cool. So you're the largest media and IP conglomerate in like the world. And then I watched like what they do with some of their stuff, their theme parks and their movies and their streaming. And I just go, what the fuck are you doing? Constantly.
Absolutely.
Like they're
so making some weird moves. The thing that they do seem to be knocking out of the park is the Marvel stuff. I mean, obviously stuff is
but
gangbusters.
So we say that, right? They're knocking out Marvel stuff in Disneyland. Disney's California Adventure, which is the park across from Disneyland. They built an Avengers campus. Okay,
right.
They built a Spider-Man ride in there that is like a clone copy of another fucking ride they have in the same fucking park. It's just basically a different video. And then they just make a one building in this campus that's actually like a decent building. And they have a couple people, like live action stunt people, fight on it, but they have handrails everywhere, so you can't fucking see them fighting from certain angles. And they just, I don't get it. Like, it's like the best IP possible, and then they're just like, yeah, let's just let's not go full bore with it. Let's just spend a minimal amount of money on that because people are going to come whenever. And it's just, I mean, part of it's smart. The other side of it's like people are starting to catch on. Like, you have to pay for rides now.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Which is, that's fucked.
You don't have to pay for every ride. Someone will be like, "Oh, you don't have to pay for it." You can line up in line for 3 fucking hours because there's going to be people paying $20 per person to go ride the ride and skip the fucking line individually. For rides.
That's crazy.
So have fun. That's fantastic.
As if it's not already expensive enough.
I know. It's like $30 a person or something like that a day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
For like the most minimal ticket.
Yeah.
Because they all changed. Like their ticket thing. Janelle and I were looking at stuff because we're like, hey, we might go take a quick trip down to Florida, for like make a long weekend out of it or whatever, and just go to like Disney for a day and like Universal for a day and just chill in the heat. Yeah. And I was looking at the fucking calendar, and it's like, you go on a Monday, it's like let's make numbers, easy numbers. It'd be like 110, and then like you want to go on like a Friday, it's like 160.
Holy shit.
And it's like, what the fuck? It's like, oh, it's our demand calendar, and it's like, okay, great. So then don't make me pay for fucking rides. Make rides that hold people.
Right.
The fuck is that? Anyways, moving on. It's some fucking game on the 3DS. It's a Disney game. It's probably not good.
It had the same vibes of that Miitopia game that came out.
Oh, it had the same vibes as like the Disneyland Adventure game. Like that's the other thing too.
Right.
You own theme parks. You own all this intellectual property. Make a fucking game where people just go around and authentically experience the parks and like go on an adventure. You have every well-beloved IP known to man at this point, and it's just like, how can you not make a fucking game? How can this not happen? Speaking of Disney, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is going to be coming to Switch. This is the original version of the game, not the remake and remaster that was announced during the PlayStation State of Play event. What was that, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. It's coming to Switch on November 11th. Boy, this looks bad.
It's definitely very dated.
It's very original.
Yeah, it is very much the original version of the game. They didn't need to necessarily say that. We could tell that was the original game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks,
I don't think they really need to
rough.
do this either, because if anyone's played the Old Republic, for this to be the original and not the remake, to use the same menu system, good fucking luck. Good luck.
Also,
not that the menu system's bad. It's just it's made for PC.
I think it takes the wind out of its sails with the remaster being announced too. Like,
yeah, I think.
We're a ways away probably, but
I think
still,
it's just a quick and easy like money play where it's like, hey, while people are waiting for this remaster on other consoles, I can go pick this up, because how is you gonna get it? I mean, can you buy it on PC? Like just
yeah, you definitely can.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna translate very well to the Switch, but there's a lot of shit that still doesn't translate well on the Switch, and it's still on the Switch. So
this is also true.
It is what it is. We got to look at Dying Light 2: Stay Human. So a cloud version of this game will be available at launch on February 4th, 2022. So that's very interesting.
Yeah, that's like what they did with Control and Hitman 3.
Yes. So we're seeing more of this. That's really cool.
That's a good thing. It allows the Switch to keep up with other things. I wonder
if the Old Republic remake could possibly be a cloud game later on. Who knows? And maybe that's why they released this one. And it's just, another way, right? Make more money. A demo is coming on launch day as well. So that's, again, February 4th, 2022. You can play a demo, see if you like it.
It was super strange to see this in a Nintendo Direct as like the first time we've seen news about this for a while. Like I didn't expect that
too.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all, because I feel like we've been radio silent on this game for a while now.
Yes.
And like a lot of people are like, this game's never coming out. It's not happening.
This is never gonna happen.
And then a Nintendo Direct is what brings us more news about it, which is crazy.
Craziness. Then Dying Light Platinum Edition is releasing October 19th, and that's just Dying Light with all the DLC and all your shit, and you get it. So, and from here, Brody's going to take over.
I am. So we got to look at Triangle Strategy, which is another game we've been kind of radio silent on for a little bit. So this was finally given a release date of March 4th, 2022. Supposedly, they made some changes based on the feedback from the demo, and some of these include difficulty options. Demo? I did. I did not play all the way through it, and I'll get to that in just a second, but I did touch this for probably hour and a half, maybe. So there's difficulty options, which is cool, because it is one of those games that could potentially be pretty tough. Like I did get steamrolled on a couple battles, but it almost reminded me of kind of like your old Fire Emblems, where they're designed to be tough for that exact reason. So you have to do things like very strategically. They also had some on-screen visual improvements, camera angle controls, which is fantastic, because I do remember the camera being weird how it was fixed. There was sometimes you couldn't see like a character and some things. The ability to review previous dialogue, which is great because there's a shitload of it. There is so much dialogue, and streamlined game flow and loading times. So my biggest problem with this demo was there was so much story all the time, and it seemed like it was a slog to kind of get to some of these battles. So
like you're just clicking A over and over.
Yeah,
and over again.
and like I wanted to care about the story, but it was also a demo, so I didn't care about the story all that much because I'm gonna forget it by the time I get to actually play the real game anyway.
Sure.
So it was a little weird, and I feel like for the demo of that game, I feel like it was way too much story, and I think it's a little bit of a hard sell to a lot of people. But I am interested in this game. I love the art style. I love that gameplay style of game where it is kind of that old Fire Emblem type of gameplay. And there's also some more details on Nintendo.com about this. But this is cool. I'm excited to see more about this game. It is a game that I kind of forgot about, not gonna lie, because it's been a while. But it is still very much on my radar. It captures that really cool art style, like Octopath Traveler, with that Fire Emblem gameplay. I'm in. I just want to see more, and hopefully, maybe it's not as long-winded as this demo was. It's a little draining.
Mm-hmm.
So, next up, we got to look at Metroid Dread. So, this was a gameplay trailer showing off quite a bit more of the game.
Yeah,
we saw a lot of the world.
I was stunned by this because when I first saw Metroid Dread, I went, okay, this is just a placehold until we get our full Metroid game. And then with them showing this off, it looked really full. Looked like a really full, thought out game that had like even really good cinematic sequences in it.
Yep. Yeah, I was very impressed with this trailer they showed off. I mean, and it wasn't even just gameplay. Like they showed off gameplay, they actually even set up pretty much the whole story in the world and what's going on and everything like that. This was really cool and actually made me more interested in this game than I already was, which I'm pretty interested in this game. This looks really cool.
Yeah.
But this is releasing October 8th, and I am stoked because that's right around the corner.
Yeah.
A couple weeks off, so very, very cool. Nintendo Switch Online content update. So this was
one of the biggest things, yeah.
Yeah, this is huge. So N64 games plus Sega Genesis games, these collections are now announced for Nintendo Switch Online memberships. The N64 and the Sega Genesis will support 4-player online and local multiplayer, which is cool. I was really surprised to see online multiplayer in this, but this is really neat. There will be a new membership plan to include these new content packs, these collections on the Nintendo, and it's going to be called the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack. Existing members will be able to purchase an upgrade to this new plan, which is good because I think I just paid my monthly or my yearly membership for this not too long ago. So very, very neat. Can't wait to pay more to upgrade to this. So the N64 games list. The games that will be available at launch: Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Winback Covert Operations, Mario Tennis 64, Dr. Mario 64, and Sin and Punishment. And they also mentioned some other games that will be coming at some point. We don't know when, but Banjo-Kazooie, Pokemon Snap, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F-Zero X. For the Sega Genesis collection, they did not announce any games that will be coming soon, but they did give us the initial list. So you're going to have Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Phantasy Star 4, Restar, Shining Force, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, Musha, Phantasy Star 4, which I read that twice. I put that in there twice for some reason. Shinobi 3 and Strider. So this will be releasing late October. We did not get any details on pricing or what that's going to look like, but supposedly more of that is coming soon. It'll probably be like announced in a tweet or something that.
They said something. God,
Were they going to have another
his language
presentation?
was they're going to have like some sort of press release or something like that at the end of October on pricing tiers and other stuff. So
yeah, they said that's coming soon because this is supposed to launch late October. So I would imagine early October to maybe mid-October, we're going to see this press release. They also showed off the wireless Genesis and N64 controllers. These are really cool. If it's as flicky as
a piece of shit, just like the the original one, where after a while it just goes limp.
It just like these are going to be $50 each per controller.
You have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member to buy them,
and you have to be a Nintendo Switch Online member. Which
sounds like you can be the normal member. You don't have to be that in the expansion pack.
From how they worded it, yes, but I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah. So
also, why would you want the N64 controller if you weren't going to be playing
N64? It on eBay for like $150 because he's going to sell out in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, even the SNES and NES game or controllers sell like crazy. Even though the N64 controller is a piece of shit, just a gigantic piece of shit.
Yeah, but there's so much nostalgia.
Oh yeah, I have so much nostalgia with that thing, but by God, it's a piece of shit controller.
So something I want to talk about that I find interesting is people on Twitter were like, "Oh my God, it's going to cost extra for this expansion pack." It's Nintendo. Knowing them, it's probably going to cost an extra like $1.99 a month, or something stupid, or like $2.99 or $3.99 or $4.99 a month,
or like $5 for the year. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like $5 to $10 for the year.
Also, on top of that, this isn't like they're just running this shit through an emulator. They've added local and multiplayer online play to these games.
Yeah.
So they've had to do a fair amount of fucking work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
A lot of work to make that happen.
So Nintendo Online is pretty cheap anyway. Granted,
what is it
not
for
that
the
many
year?
things
Like
you
25 or $30?
For like a family membership, it's like $34 or something like that, and you can add up to like 8 or 10 people or something.
Add on like, hey, for $10.99 or $10 for the rest of the year, you can play these games. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
Who gives a shit? That's fantastic.
Yeah, if I can play Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time on my Switch for $10 for the year, I'm pretty good with that. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
They're going to add more shit. They're going to add more stuff. And this opens up for other developers, for them to hit up other developers and say, hey, you want to bring a game to N64?
And if if this is supported like they have with the NES and SNES collections, like this over time will be very good
it'll
value.
Be well worth it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
people
on Twitter
I could understand
like, making me pay for N64 games. No thanks. It's like,
go ahead and try to buy one off eBay right now.
Yeah, go ahead and try to buy Paper Mario.
Fucking insane.
And just an N64 system. And try to play online multiplayer and fucking Mario Tennis 64 because it didn't fucking exist.
Right.
Congrats.
Yeah.
God, I hate people so much. It's absolutely it's so ridiculous.
We are usually pretty good about calling out some of the bullshit on like various things like pricing and things, but this is genuinely like I think over time this will be fantastic.
My point would
if
be
you were to go,
my point would be more bullshit would be paying $50 for the N64 controller.
This is also true. I will say that's crazy.
If you want to like have an actual argument, that is more paying $50 for a Sega Genesis controller, the fucking kidney bean. The kidney bean controller.
The kidney bean controller.
I
played a lot on that fucking thing back in the day for sure. But I mean, if you were to go buy Super Mario 64, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Star Fox 64, no, but I mean, hell, what was it like?
Oh, a Mega Replay? Mega Replay is $100, $120 for not a aqua colored or an orange colored N64 for a fucking black basic stock
plain ass
N64
fucking
with a gray ass controller. It was $120 for the unit used. And then for your like staple games like Mario 64, Paper Mario, Each one of those games was like $40, $45 a piece.
Oh, Super Mario 64 can go for crazy too,
Oh,
depending
yeah,
on the
yeah,
condition
yeah.
it's in too. Like if you get a really, I actually just bought. I just bought Ocarina of Time and Smash because my versions were gone when I looked for them a while back, and I paid I think $40 a piece, and I actually had to buy one of them twice because it was stolen out of my fucking mailbox. So that was really cool. But
Oh, right, that's the thing, yeah. And guess what? Those cartridges have fucking batteries in them to keep your saves alive.
there's a lot of good shit here. Like I'm actually very impressed with this. I definitely want to play through this. And even at $50 for the controller, I might buy the N64 one. I don't know.
That's really cool. I get it.
Yeah.
There's a wireless card in there. Okay, it's not
just for the nostalgia of it too. Like if I'm going back and playing these games, I'd like to use the original controller. I don't want to play it on the Pro controller. To be perfectly honest, even though the Pro controller is significantly better, there's something about playing Ocarina of Time
where your thumb fucking hurts. But
like making sure your thumb hurts really bad by the end of it because you just wore a callus into it, and then and you have to hold this 3-prong controller in some fucked up orientation just to be able to play. There's something nostalgic about that.
Oh, it's so awesome. And never using the Z button for anything.
Right.
But
well,
right
you used
there.
it in Zelda because I think it re-centered the camera, if I remember correctly. Because that was back in the Z-Lock days of cameras before you actually had movement and things.
C buttons to move your camera around.
Fucking terrible. You know what? In hindsight, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. The fucking controller. Next up, we got to look at Shadowrun Trilogy. So this is coming sometime in 2022. I have no connection to this. I never played the series. It's like a early version of like an XCOM cyberpunk type style game. Looks cool. Never played it. I honestly have zero connection to it at all. We got to look at Castlevania Advance Collection, which is neat. So there are some new features that come with this. So you can rewind. There's a quick save function and also button mapping, which is odd because usually Switch games don't have that. So this is really neat. This features all regional versions of each game, as well as a gallery mode that features never before seen art. So for Castlevania fans, this is fantastic. And their art looked gorgeous. I mean, granted, these were, advanced games. So
this is like the most collectors.
Yeah, this is collector
friendly, super fan friendly version of this game, and I'm all for it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, very, very cool. I have never looked up the prices of these games, but I can't imagine they are easy on the wallet. But this is
just to have all the regions.
Yeah,
that's something else too. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's something they didn't have to do, and I think it's a really, really good move, like you said, for collectors, people that just want these because they love the Castlevania franchise. And this is actually available right now. So another one of those classic Nintendo. Available now. Very cool. So we also got to look at ActRaiser Renaissance. So this is an HD remake of the original SNES game. This features brand new music as well as new stages, and this is available right now. And the work they put into this is crazy. This is a huge step up from what the original SNES game was. I mean, this looks really cool. They kept the art style they chose was very neat because it is like this still retro looking game, but it's still obviously a huge step up from where SNES was at the time when this launched. This is another game I have no connection to, but it looked really, really cool, and it had like a very unique gameplay loop of where there's like almost like a city builder into it, kind of as well, and then this like side-scrolling platforming type action game as well. Very, very neat. Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2. So this really reminded me of Undertale. I don't know if it's the same people. I really don't know much about this, to be perfectly honest. And I didn't. It looks kind of cool, but this is available now as a free update to those who own Deltarune Chapter 1. So that's neat. I don't know anything about it, and I didn't have time to really look anything up because this was at 6 o'clock, and by the time I got
Yeah.
through writing everything, I'm like, oh God, I don't.
I don't
It's time to
know. I
record.
mean, part of me liked the timing of it, and then part of me was like, huh.
The 6 o'clock thing on our time kind of sucks for
I
me
mean,
writing show notes on
I kind
Thursdays.
of get it because it's like every other one was at like what, like 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern, and you're like, you're at
Most people
work,
are at work or
you're
school or whatever it is.
or something like that. Maybe people can't stream it, and I don't know. Maybe it gets the word out better, but who knows?
Yeah, it's an awkward time for when you do a podcast on Thursday.
Yes.
You're like, fuck.
Yes.
You assholes. We also got a quick montage of a handful of different games,
Yes,
so
we
I'll
did.
just blaze through these really quick, just like they did. Hot Wheels Unleashed coming September 30th. Surviving the Aftermath coming holiday 2021. Shin Megami Tensei 5 digital pre-orders begin today, which is crazy because this game is supposed to launch November 11th. Wreckfest is coming fall of 2021, which is wild that game's even going to play on the Switch. It's not like a super crazy graphically intensive game, but
Yeah.
I'm still a little surprised to see it coming to Switch.
Curious.
Arcade Archiver, Pac-Man and Xevious is available now, and Rune Factory 5 coming March 22nd, 2022.
Bro, I'm super stoked to see Hot Wheels Unleashed. I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to see how it plays out on, like, you know, Xbox and PlayStation. See what people are saying about it and doing with it. And then I want to pick it up if it's decent.
The thing that concerned me most about it is the tracks feel so wide. Like, it doesn't have that Hot Wheels feel to it because it feels like a full-blown road, which is, I mean, obviously you have to have that so people can pass. And I've also seen some questionable things about some of their, like, post-launch plans as far as DLC. They're going to have, like, almost a battle pass system. There's some things that are concerning there. The car customization and the track building and stuff looks really, really cool. But I do have some concerns, and this is one that I'm interested in, but I want to wait and see how some of the reviews come out and see what people say. I also want to see how they support it after launch and if it's going to be a little egregious or what it's actually going to have and how much single player content it is too. Because I'm not going to typically play this probably online or a whole lot of multiplayer even. Like I would more want the single player campaign, go through, unlock cars, unlock shit like that, and then go from there.
Yeah.
So, super excited for Shin Megami Tensei 5 though. That's a me-ass game right there for sure. So cool. Next up, we gotta look at the Mario animated movie, and by look, I mean basically just announced the cast and that this is being made. So this is being made by Illumination. This is
the same
the
team
studio
that did Minions and
it's some of the people that worked on Despicable Me, because it is I think a relatively new studio.
Illumination.
Is it, or is Illumination whoever? Because I thought
is the studio that did Minions.
I thought they just said that one guy was from the.
No, he's a director who had done Minions. But Illumination has done all of the Despicable Me films, from my understanding.
Okay. I was thinking...
and then also Secret Life of Pets, I believe, as well.
Yep, you are correct. It looks like their first one was Despicable Me. They've also done Hop, Dr. Seuss's The Lorax, Minions, Secret Life of Pets, Dr. Seuss's The Grinch.
Basically, I mean, there's Pixar and then there's them, and they are very quickly approaching.
They are very
good as Pixar.
They are very, very good. I mean, Secret Life of Pets was actually a pretty good movie.
So, do you want to? Here's a cool little fact about Despicable Me. So the Minions. I forget which one, Trey Parker or Matt Stone from South Park actually helped create the sound for.
Oh, really? That sounds about right.
And this is how ingenious Trey Parker and Matt Stone are. They got some sort of scientist to figure out the exact decibel that makes a dopamine hit in the brain when a human hears it, and that is the decibel to which a minion talks.
Really? That's interesting. That's crazy. I don't doubt it. Those guys are fucking geniuses.
Yeah,
right?
they are absolutely geniuses. But yeah, it's brilliant.
We did not get a look at what this is actually going to look like or anything.
Imagination's running wild, though, after hearing this cast list.
Yeah, this cast list is crazy. But this will be releasing in America on December 21st, 2022 in theaters. And
it's animated.
It is animated for sure. It's not going to be like Super Mario Bros. Back at the 80s or 90s or whatever. I can't remember when that. It was like early 90s.
It was. It was so like bad. 94 or something like that. Something like that. You gonna Google it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely Google it.
93. I should remember that. When I was fucking born. But the release dates for this movie in different areas is coming later. They didn't announce that. It's just the America one. So the cast members. This is where it gets wild. Chris Pratt is going to be motherfucking Mario. Emmett from the Lego Movie is going to be Mario. I love Chris Pratt. Very interested to see how this comes out, though.
Go through the cast, and then I'll tell you what I think is
okay.
The thing's gonna be about.
Anya Taylor-Joy is going to be Peach. She is the lead of Queen's Gambit, I believe.
Which she looks like she could literally be Peach in a live action.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so crazy. Charlie Day is going to be Luigi.
All I can think of is Sunny in Philadelphia.
Sure, why not? If you don't know who Charlie Day is, he's the guy from Horrible Bosses, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. He's the one that's like a simp dude.
Yeah.
And then like his dentist boss is Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston, yeah. Oh my god! But I just remember from Sunny in Philadelphia where he's like just doing the craziest shit. Yeah.
Jack Black is Bowser.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Keegan Michael Key is Toad.
That one got me. That's
the next one gets me too. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
He's just gonna sit in a fucking tree trying to smoke a banana.
I have never once in my entire life needed Donkey Kong to talk, and surely not with Seth Rogen's voice coming out of it.
Yeah, this is absurd.
The very long running voice of Mario, Charles Martinet, is going to be making cameos in the movie, which is cool. Kevin Michael Richardson will play Kamek. Fred Armisen will play Cranky Kong, and Sebastian Maniscalco is going to be Spike. Which I saw a post about this, and they posted the actors next to the character they're playing, and whoever posted this did not get Spike right at all. I don't even know who the fuck they actually had. It looked like a hipster Mario with some fucking beard. Not Spike. Certainly not Spike.
Oh my god. This
cast is awesome and insane all at the same time.
I think the thing is, the plot of the movie is clearly going to be something happens in the Mushroom Kingdom where people have injected themselves now into the game or something like that, because you tell me how the fuck Seth Rogen is going to make Donkey Kong.
I'm still trying to figure out Chris Pratt as Mario.
I mean,
come on, how's Chris Pratt gonna?
I feel like this is gonna be like maybe it's like a role switch. Maybe this is gonna be like Jumanji, where they all switch roles with each other, but they switch with the characters.
Okay, yeah. Keegan Michael Key is
Toad. There's no fucking way.
It's fucking Toad.
Toad doesn't say a fucking thing, bro. I mean, none of the
just-
characters really say anything except for Mario and Luigi.
And even then, it's just
and
sound.
Bowser. I mean, Bowser speaks in text.
The only thing Luigi says is Mario, Mario, Mario. That's all he says.
Here we've been stunned before with Ryan Reynolds as fucking Pikachu, so there's nothing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think that's what's going to
that
happen.
man can do
with
no
this.
wrong. Okay,
No, but I think that's what's going to happen with this.
Oh, I think so too. I think honestly, I'm really excited about this. I am really, really excited. I think this is going to be a great time.
Oh, this film's going to do
campy.
Unbelievable.
This could be incredibly campy, and people will still love it. It's fucking Mario.
Yeah. But I mean, think about this too, right? Like we're talking about Illumination being the secondary to Pixar. So Universal Studios is putting in a bunch of, they're going to be putting Mario lands in all of their amusement parks. And it's like, I mean, that's going to that can crush Pixar.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
This is really, really neat. This is not the cast I imagined. I don't even know what I imagined, but this certainly wasn't it.
Did we get a date on when we would learn more about it, or no? Just kind of hey.
Just kind of a hey.
So usually
we're not ready
movies, we're not going to find out about something for 6 months.
Yeah, it'll probably be late spring that we see really much of anything. We might get a teaser earlier in the year, a super short teaser just showing off Mario and maybe Chris Pratt saying something, maybe. But I can't imagine.
I think it's gonna be it's gonna be something stupid. It's gonna be a bunch of people at a party or something like that, and then all of a sudden, we've been sucked into the video game.
They're all playing their Switch on a rooftop,
and
they do in the
Welcome to the Mushroom Kingdom. And then you're going to have Michael Keaton Thompson's Toad being how the fuck do we get out of here? I don't know what's going to...
After you said something about Seth Rogen trying to smoke a banana as Donkey Kong,
go,
I want nothing more in my life.
In a fucking tree.
I want nothing more in my entire life than to watch Donkey Kong, played by Seth Rogen, try to smoke a banana.
Oh man,
I'm sure they won't, because I imagine this is going to be pretty PG.
I mean, I guess but Despicable Me and Illumination.
Yeah, I think there will be some
stuff for the parents all the time in the movies.
That's pretty common in a lot of those kinds of movies too. They sneak some things in, but I think for the most part, I think this is going to be pretty PG. That's a huge part of their market, right? So
yeah.
I'm stoked. I'm excited to see what this is.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it too. We should go see it together or something like that. It'd be fucking hilarious. This is going to be
You left me hanging on Sonic, though. I had to go watch that one by myself. Well, I took my kids, but...
That's weird. Fuck, I'll go watch... Isn't there a second one coming out?
Sonic? Yeah. Sonic 2, man. Tails is in it.
I'll go fucking watch Sonic 2.
Fuck yeah, you will.
Go see it.
That's
I won't
right.
watch the first one, but I'll watch the second.
You have to wear that Sonic costume I found on Amazon. Please?
No.
Come on, man. I'll find a equally shitty Knuckles one and we can go together. I'll just one of the kids up like Tails.
Oh my god.
It's
no. No.
Oh my god. Oh god, I forgot I was still reading here. Splatoon 3, Return of the Mammalians. Which is mammals.
Yeah.
It's mammals. Why they named it that, I don't fucking know,
Dude,
but
Splatoon
here we are.
Is so fucking weird.
It is very strange. They showed off a bunch of new things, including new abilities, maps, single player campaign, as well as a villain, new weapons, mechs? Question mark. And this is all coming next year. We still don't have a release date on this. I'm not a huge Splatoon person. I did end up getting Splatoon 2. I got Splatoon 2 for my oldest to play, and he really, really enjoyed it. But he also dropped off of it and was like, well, I don't want to play this. Splatoon 3 is coming. I'm like, you have a while. You know that, right? This is coming probably late next year, mid next year, maybe. But cool, Splatoon 3. I know a lot of people do enjoy it. It's not for me. I can't get into it.
Yeah.
And of course, the final thing in this showcase was Bayonetta 3.
Holy shit. It's happening.
It's happening. We actually got a look at some gameplay. We got a theatrical look at what's going on. There's a trailer that explained absolutely nothing,
That's
but
right.
also that explained everything because it's Bayonetta and it's all just fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming 2022, surprisingly enough.
No
Completely
actual
radio
date,
silent.
just a year.
Yeah, completely radio silent for like 4 years now, and all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, coming next year." Crazy. I will say, and I don't know if this is an artistic choice or if it's just what they could get away with, but the cinematics looked kind of grainy and gloomy, and I don't know if that was just to match with kind of how the first and second one look, or if the hardware of the Switch actually limits it this much. Because
I'd go with the latter of your comments.
this is also true. I wasn't super impressed with how the cinematics looked.
That Bluetooth update.
Yeah, that Bluetooth update fucked everything. But I actually thought it looked better in the gameplay than it did in the cinematics, which is weird. Like the gameplay bit they showed off looked crystal clear, and
you know
it looked
what, though? It could have been their stream too.
It could have been the stream. This is true, but
The stream's not the greatest when a lot of shit's going on.
Bayonetta games are fun. They're wild. They're this like kind of weird,
Super fucking weird. Oh god,
they're super. Yeah, they're
cold
super
here.
fucking. I mean, this is a woman who wears a suit made of hair. So she also, in typical Bayonetta fashion, she got a new haircut for this one. She's got different hair, a different outfit.
She turns into a butterfly at one point.
Turned into a butterfly, called a fucking dragon. Like there was a lot of shit going on here.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what I expected to see from Bayonetta 3. I still got to get through 2, and I'll play this. But this is I didn't actually expect to see this here.
This is what the people wanted.
This is what the people wanted. There was a lot of things in here that people were like throwing out there as those wild like pipe dreams, and we actually fucking got a couple of them. Like, I mean, this is cool. So yeah, that was the Nintendo Direct today that we just spent an entire episode talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff though. I mean, like there was a lot of stuff. There's a lot of confusing things that require more conversation for sure. I mean, we've got Chris Pratt is now Mario. I mean, that's pretty wild. Yeah, I mean, it's, there's a lot of stuff to go to it. Before we wrap up, I'm just going to run through the upcoming game releases. So there's quite a fair bit, man, coming out right now.
There is.
I'm sure there's something out there for people to play. So starting September 24th, Death Stranding Director's Cut comes to PS5. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot comes to Nintendo Switch. And Lost Judgment comes to PS5, Xbox Series X, and PS4. September 28th, Chernobyl Light comes to PS4 and Xbox One. Ghost Runner comes to PS5 and Xbox Series X. In Sound Mind comes to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Lemnis Gate comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, and Xbox One. New World comes to PC. Outer Wilds Echoes of the Eye DLC comes to PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Woo! On September 29th, Guardians of Hyrule comes to PC, and Insurgency Sandstorm comes to PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. September 30th, Aeon Drive comes to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. Bonfire Peaks comes to PC, PS5, PS4, and the Nintendo Switch. Bubble Bobble for Friends, The Baron's Workshop comes to PC. Darksiders 3 comes to Nintendo Switch. Demon Skin comes to PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Hot Wheels Unleashed hits PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Industria comes to PC. Jurassic World Aftermath Part 2 comes to the Oculus VR system. And The Last Friend comes to PC and Nintendo Switch, as well as Rogue Lords hits PC. That is probably one of the longest ones in a long time.
It's certainly up there, and there's a few of them that are kind of weird to pronounce.
Speaking of which, I think in the springtime, we're going to have a crazy time reading off all of the shit that's coming because spring is fucking loaded at this point.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a little rowdy for sure. Yeah. Anything here catch your eye? Anything you're looking for?
Like I said, the Hot Wheels Unleashed. I'm interested in it, just seeing what it's like. I'm not going to purchase it right out of the gate.
Yeah.
I'm going to kind of wait and see what goes on with it and then maybe make the purchase from there. And then I do love Bubble Bobble. Big fan of it.
Is that your game? I mean, aside from Peggle?
It's kind of like Peggle.
It's kind of like Peggle. Yeah, fair enough. I'm interested to see what people have to say about Hot Wheels Unleashed. I'm with you. I'm not going to pick it up right off the get-go. Honestly, this game will probably go on a pretty deep sale pretty quick, I would imagine. But
I agree.
I'll probably wait on that. I have a few things I need to finish up. And also, I mean, Final Fantasy 14 has me again, so I'm kind of fucked one way or another. But no, nothing this week, but there's certainly some stuff coming up. Especially October. October's pretty packed too, man.
Yeah. Well, and November now too with Battlefield.
And I still got to pick up Kenna Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah.
I got to pick that up as well. So
cool.
Lots of stuff.
Well, guys, I'll do it for this episode. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. You can find me on PlayStation. My PSN is Maple Jeff.
And mine is Lush Brody. Sorry, I was reading our chat because Nick brought up the fact that there's no hentai games releasing this week, and he's bummed. You can find me on PlayStation at Luscious Brody. You can also find me on Xbox at Luscious Brody.
Sweet. Like you said, you can follow us live on Twitch and YouTube every Thursday evening at 9:30 Eastern is when we go live. And you can find us in every single podcast platform, so spread the word. It's Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Pandora, a million different places. And until next time, guys, we will see you later.